maybe even early third for a guy like Biggie. There's a lot of questions going on. Some people thought that Jay-Z would fall to the second, now off the board in the first.
Even most live sports. Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. Sports-tacular content.
0272 for this great investment opportunity in Orlando, Florida. 877-333-0272. Again, that's 877-3. Housing opportunity.
Did you know November is Lung Cancer Awareness Month? According to the American... You're not. What would your reaction...
Get the pick again, Dave. Go ahead.
Yeah, this is a Zephyr model R77. People who collect transistor radios are very familiar with the shirt pocket Zephyrs. They're very collectible, but I've never seen a lunchbox style Zephyr before. And in fact, when I first saw it, I wasn't familiar with the Zephyr brand. I saw it in a secondhand store, and so I went home and looked it up and found out that they were very collectible, at least the shirt pocket ones. And so I went back, and the guy at the store wanted $15 for it, so I bought it. At first I thought it was probably just a cheap copy of one of the Zenith lunchbox radios, like a 700 or a 675. But it's actually very well made. This is very solid chrome. And it's aged very well. There's no pitting or anything at all on it. This is enameled up here, not painted. And of course, in the reflection, sometimes it's hard to see, but you can see that's very well done. And it's a very high quality, genuine leather case. The radio did not play when I got it, and it's set for several months. I was trying to find a schematic for it, but never could, so I needed one because there were a couple loose broken wires inside. But I went ahead and decided to try to fix it without one because it didn't look like I was ever going to find one. Couldn't even find the model at all on an internet search. So I recapped it and basically found where all the wires went, got them tacked back in place, and it played. It's not a real sensitive radio, as you can see, but it does pick up all the main stations in this area. I also had to replace the volume control. It was pretty wore out. This snap over here was missing, so I went to a fabric store and bought a new set of snaps and put on it. And as you can see, it's a very well made chassis. And when I had it on the bench, it normally runs on 6 C cells, but when I was working on it, I just tacked in a 9-volt battery and decided to just leave it that way. It's a lot easier to swap batteries and a lot less expensive, and the radio doesn't weigh that much. The age of this radio is kind of hard to tell. The style that it looks like Zenith came out with in the late 50s, but they made lunchbox style radios up through the mid 60s. This one very possibly was made in 1962, and the way that we can possibly guess that is that some other people that have looked at this photographs of the chassis of this radio on the one of the antique radio forums have identified these transistors in here as Texas Instrument transistors. And there was a period of time in 1962 when Japan, where Zephyrs were originally made, but then later somehow the ownership, I guess, and manufacture moved to Hong Kong, and this radio was made in Hong Kong. They started dominating the market, eating into Japan's share of the transistor market, and so for a period of time in 1962, Japan would not sell transistors to Hong Kong radio manufacturers. And during that period of time, about 6 months or so, Zephyr supposedly bought transformers from England and from the United States, and there are a number of documented Zephyr shirt pocket radios that do have Texas Instruments transistors in them, and people who've looked at the numbers on these also believe these to be unbranded Texas Instrument transistors. And they're unbranded because these were, I think, what they call fallout transistors. They didn't quite meet maybe some specifications, and so they were sold to overseas manufacturers, I guess, at discounted prices. Anyway, it's actually a very well-made radio, nothing cheap about it at all, and it would be nice if the receiver were a little more sensitive, but and there could be a bad disc capacitor or something in there that's eating into the sensitivity, but it's a nice playing radio. It's got a huge speaker. You can kind of see a little bit over there. It's at least 4 inches, so it's got very good sound.